Swadikap Shashikalji and welcome back to TSN Talks. In today's episode, we welcome the founder of Human Stories Thailand, a Columbia MBA graduate who has been inspired by the power of storytelling in New York and wants to launch the same feeling here in Thailand. Today, we're going to be talking about what New York inspired him, why he brought this idea back to Thailand, and what he hopes to achieve with this venture. To waste no time in welcoming Mr. Angad Pasricha.
สวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับ
Swadikap,
Hi, guys.
Angad.
สวัสดีครับ
For people hearing from you for the first time, how do you usually introduce yourself?
Well, usually I just say who I am. My name is Angad Pasricha, and with this latest venture, I'd probably talk about that as well. So I can dive a little bit deeper into what Human Stories is, or should we keep that for a later time?
So, in one sentence, what would you say it is?
Human Stories Thailand is basically a platform for people to come and form genuine connections, whether it be for business, for leisure, or for just for pure friendship, and also a space for people to come and express themselves, because this is the first time we're going to be hosting this event, and we're going to have activities such as open mics where people can come and freely express themselves, whether it be musically or creatively in whichever avenue they're comfortable with. And we're also going to have networking events for people to form friendships and genuine connections. I think that's a little bit longer than a sentence, but that should suffice.
Okay, interesting. I assume you've taken part in similar events when you were in New York.
That's correct, yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about some of those events and what you took away from it?
Oh, for sure. So actually, my reasoning for being in New York, to give a little bit of context, is I was there for my master's in business education over there. It was based in Manhattan, and as you know, Manhattan has a lot of different activities and events and all different kinds of people there. So I remember going to an event. I do not clearly remember the name, but there was an event for people to come basically showcase their creative side. This was more towards the creative side. People from all walks of careers were there. Some people came to share their poetry. Some people came to share their music. And I just, on the spur of the moment, just decided to go up there and sing as well. And I've never sung in public like that before. And that was quite a genuine feeling that I got from people about how they appreciated, people sharing. Yeah. But yeah, I went to a few of those kind of events. And later on, after people shared, their creative sides, I went up and chatted and formed connections with these people. And I found out that some of these people were actually like big lawyers owning their own law firms. Some people were like bankers. Some people were just pure artists. And it was a beautiful thing to see, a space for people from all kinds of backgrounds to be in one space and just express themselves freely like that. So those were some of the events that I went and visited and partook in New York. And that's kind of what I want to do back here in Bangkok as well.
Is that what inspired you to do it? Is it the fact that you could express yourselves or you could see other people also doing the same thing?
Well, that's a good question. It's both. I'm doing this not purely for myself anymore. I believe that in Bangkok, there's already quite a lot of events that are catered towards specific groups of people and specific groups of interests. For example, there are a lot of events that are purely targeted towards expats, or there are some events that are purely targeted towards, people like business networking. And there are events curated only for people seeking wellness or like creative
or running
events,
or whatever it is.
Or running or whatever. We believe that in the midst of all of this, there's that space in the middle of the Venn diagram that all people from all of these different interests and backgrounds can come together in one place. That's actually what we want Human Stories to become.
Right. That's nice. That's a good way to put it. Because I think we're all kind of deep into whatever niche we're in or whatever interest we're in. But at its core, everyone does have a story to tell.
That is exactly.
So you can hear from
better than I did. Yes.
A runner, or you can hear from a
CEO.
From a CEO, correct.
That is correct. Yes.
That's a good way to put it. But take us back a little bit. You were born and raised here. How'd you end up in New York City?
Oh, well, we'll have to go way back. So I actually, it all starts with, how I started my career and whatnot. So after I did my undergrad, I actually got an opportunity to work in one of the biggest banks in the country. And the offer for the job came with a scholarship for an MBA program as well. And that was the beginning of me entering into, MBA in New York. While working in that bank, I was working towards, applying for this MBA degree. And
did you already have it in mind that you were going to do an MBA, or was that something that came about later on?
In the beginning, while I was still in undergrad, I actually was very focused on becoming an entrepreneur. So I started my first startup when I was in my third year of undergrad, and I had so much passion and I had a great team with me. So I really was inspired to truly become an entrepreneur. But then I was also applying for jobs on the side as well. However, I believed I could, balance two things at once. I don't have to fully be one thing at all times. So that's what led me to this bank that I was talking to you about, which came with the MBA as well. So while working at the bank, the startup was also ongoing by itself. I had a team managing it, great teammates, great staff. But during this tenure at the bank, I was working towards applying for the MBA as well. So to answer your question, did I have that in the beginning? Not really. But once I started to work in the bank, I started to see the value of getting, in higher education.
So when the opportunity came, you could take it.
Exactly. I saw my peers, I saw my bosses, my managers. Their perspectives were kind of different from mine at that point in time. And I was kind of inspired by that. And I believe I wanted to have a more global exposure. Okay. I wanted to have a wider perspective of the world and whatnot. So I believe an MBA was the right answer for that. And It has served me quite well.
So what happened then? So you go to New York City, you do your MBA. How's that?
Oh man, it was incredibly fun, especially it being in Manhattan, getting to watch the Knicks and just meeting so many different people in New York. It was incredible. I learned so much. And funny thing is, during the time that I was there, it was basically AI was actually quite booming during the years that I was there. And I got to see that in real time, because usually like these higher education, like these MBA programs, they usually take in the AI stuff and mold it into courses in real time. So I had the great opportunity to take a lot of different AI classes that was offered. I got to learn quite a lot in those 1.5 years that I was there.
Nice. So Angad, you want to tell us a little bit more about your startup? What was it that you launched, your first entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, for sure. So basically it was an educational technology company. It was an EdTech platform essentially. So basically it was a marketplace for Thai university students to buy and sell educational materials, which included summary notes, study sheets, and they could also host live tutoring sessions. Nice. So we started off actually in one university, and then we expanded to over 100 unis all over the country. Nice. And we had scaled upwards of 250,000 users towards the peak. So I started this in 2019 with a few of my friends. And then, we scaled it over the years. I think we worked on it for 5+ years.
Right.
And then we had, a big conglomerate contact us, and we were in the discussions of either collaborating, but then it ended up being like an acquisition. So we had a conglomerate take over and put it in this. My startup is now part of their ecosystem, and they actually have a huge ebook marketplace. So we became an addition into their ecosystem as the educational platform. Right. So that was a startup that I worked on.
Right. What was your role in this company?
So basically I was one of the co-founders. And my role, in startups, there usually isn't any specific role tied towards, your position. So I was like the everything guy, but I was mostly in charge of the expansion to the whole country.
How did you guys expand?
And, that's a good question. So our business model was quite straightforward. So basically we take commissions out of every sale. But then we basically unlocked a way to expand to different universities. So we contacted startup teams that were already part of startup clubs of each specific universities. And we offered them to become our partners. And they had to handle, the communications, marketing. And again, they basically get a cut of the sales as well.
Nice.
So that's how we were able to expand throughout the country. But not every uni that we are in has a specific team. We only target like the big unis with teams. But then the other universities.
What are some of the universities you were selling notes in?
So actually, one of our top selling universities was Chiang Mai University, CMU.
Nice.
And then there was other universities such as Naresuan University or Suranari University. So yeah, it's spread out all across the country.
And what were the numbers like? Are you able to share now that you've already exited this company?
Towards the end, we had over 250,000 Thai university students on our platform.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, we had over 700,000 transactions that happened on the platform.
Nice.
And then we had over 100 universities and also high schools that we actually expanded into, but our focus was mainly on universities.
Nice.
This is towards before the acquisition.
Okay.
So now,
So that was like the final numbers,
those
so
are the
to
final
speak.
numbers. That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
So-
Great stuff.
So that that's what I meant by me having that entrepreneurial fire in me. So I think this what I'm doing right now with Human Stories also lit that spark for me that actually never went away, not lit anymore. Just added fuel to the fire that I already had as well.
Right.
So yeah, that's my journey as an entrepreneur.
Okay. Lovely.
And it will hopefully will not stop over there.
It doesn't stop.
It never stops.
Did you know then that you wanted to come back and do something related to storytelling?
Well, not really. And Human Stories will not be complete until I mention the other half of this Human Stories, which is my sister, Anmol, or also known as Amara. She is very much in the wellness space, and she's hosted quite a lot of events in Bangkok already. Once I came back from New York, I was chatting with her, and then we actually came up with the idea that, hey, we both come from two very different worlds. I come from the entrepreneur, the business, finance, banking world. And she comes from the wellness world. However, as you previously mentioned, people in these both groups have stories to tell and people want to express themselves creatively. The wellness side may have already expressed themselves already, but I feel the people in the business world, which I'm a part of, do not really have avenues for them to express them creatively.
Right.
However, we believe that if we create an event or a space where people from these two worlds and other worlds that I previously mentioned coexist in one space, beautiful things can happen. So that's how the spark of Human Stories actually came to be after this discussion with my sister.
Nice. That's good to hear because
Thank you.
I believe in the power of storytelling. I think everybody has a story to tell ultimately, which is why it's great to see you taking the initiative on this. What do you hope to achieve with this? I know you're just starting out and it's something new, but what do you hope to achieve?
What I would like to achieve with this, since this is the first time, I would like for there to be the second, third, fourth time. I would like this to become like a recurring event where more and more people join. And even using this platform, I would like to bring in Thai Indians as well, because I believe Thai Indian the members of the Thai Indian communities, like both of us, we exist in both of these worlds, the creative world and the business world as well. And I would also like to invite, the Thai Indian community to be part of this space that we're trying to create as well. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, we just want to become another great, beautiful space for people of Bangkok, be able to meet new people and become like a safe space for people to express themselves and also get to network and meet other people as well. We would like to become that space in Bangkok.
Did you hear any crazy story when you were in New York?
Crazy things happen every day in New York. You got to be more specific.
I mean when you were in Human Stories New York or anything of that sort, not just walking around.
Okay, because New York is crazy. Yes, I've heard of people.
I can be a bit more precise. Was there any story that made you think if I had told the story back home, it would have resonated with a lot of people?
That's a good question. I got to think about that. I remember hearing a story about the lawyer. She basically moved countries when she was younger, and she came to the U.S. with barely anything, with almost no family. She came by herself, somehow fought her way through education and whatnot, and basically reached quite a comfortable position in life. But the way that she told her story was actually quite beautiful. And in addition to her sharing that side of her story, she also is an artist, but she mentioned that she never sang this anywhere. And that was kind of the first place that she got to express herself, that part of her towards in front of a crowd. And I think she was able to show her vulnerable side, or sorry, not vulnerable, but her more creative side.
Right.
because she probably had to put a mask on throughout her life.
Correct.
So her having that space to show that side of her was something that I still remember. It's part of the inspiration for Human Stories.
Nice. That is nice indeed. But now that you touched on it a little bit, Thailand can be quite a safe face kind of society. Do you think it might be more difficult to get people to be more creative or be more vulnerable per se?
That is a great question. Even though Thailand has that sort of reputation, but I truly believe if you touch like the core of people, if you give them the space, like the non-judgmental space, which is exactly what we're also trying to be, I believe people will express themselves quite freely. So I do not think that is a roadblock into our mission, into building human stories. So I do not think that's going to be a problem.
Nice. Do you think personally, like for you, this will open more avenues in your life as well?
Well, honestly, I'm pretty sure it will, but that's honestly not the main objective of doing this. I'm not really doing this for me, as I previously mentioned. It's more for building a community. But if I were to look back at the benefits that this would bring to me, I think the most awesome thing that could happen is me and my sister personally meeting more amazing people that are living in Bangkok right now. So I think that's going to be the main benefit of us.
Why do you think it's so important today, especially in 2026,
people
to be able to
lonely, man.
To meet and connect with people?
I believe that people are quite lonely these days. People are stuck in their routine, as mentioned in one of the videos of Human Stories. And people just get stuck in the routine. They don't really get to meet new people. They don't really get to expand their horizons.
Hiding behind a screen.
Exactly, hiding behind a screen. I think it's quite important for people to truly remember who they are and form genuine connections, because that leads to like genuine happiness in life, right? So I that's what I think.
Tell me more. So what's the deeper motivation?
Well, just to expand on what I initially mentioned. Once I bring people together in this kind of space, me and my sister, I believe that people will go out and form more genuine connections even outside of the circle that we built. So I view this as sort of a butterfly effect. If people get inspired, people meet some awesome new people over here, they will go out and inspire other people to form genuine, meaningful relationships.
Right.
So I just want people to be less lonely and
more happy.
And I know that Bangkok has some amazing people, no less than New York, for sure.
Yep. I think there are stories to be told everywhere. It's about how you can create that space.
I'm sure you have a story to tell as well.
Everyone has a story.
I would love to see you at the event as well.
Yes, I will be there. But how do you plan? Okay, so obviously we talk about being able to build connections and being able to connect with people, which is really important. But again, like you said, you need to be able to create a zone where people feel comfortable. How can you? And it's a really hard thing to do. So how do you plan on creating that?
That's a great question. And this sort of expertise is more towards my sister's strength, which is the other founder of Human Stories as well. However, we believe that since it's the first time we're going to be hosting this specific event, and we have key learnings from my sister's other events, I'm sure that we can, take some of those learnings and input it into this event as well. But I truly believe that, as the host of this event, if we bring the genuine positive vibes, people will be able to, lean into that energy, and then that will get people to open up as well.
Okay.
So I believe it all starts with the host as well, the way that we present ourselves and us being as genuine as we can.
Okay.
Which is exactly what we're doing.
Lovely. Do you want to mention your message in Thai as well, so it reaches out to our Thai audience
Absolutely.
too?
Thank you. ก็ขอใช้พื้นที่นี้ในการพูดถึงตัว Human Stories Thailand นิดนึงนะครับเป็นภาษาไทยอีเวนต์เนี้ยจะเป็นพื้นที่ที่ให้ผู้คนจากหลากหลาย career หลากหลาย background อะไรเงี้ยมีพื้นที่ได้มาแสดงความสร้างสรรค์ของตัวเองนะครับแล้วก็ได้มา share story ของตัวเองรวมถึงได้มาพบเจอผู้คนใหม่ๆจากหลากหลายสายงานเหมือนกันเราไม่ได้จะเป็นแค่อีเวนท์ที่ให้คนมาแสดงความสร้างสรรค์นะครับแต่ว่าจะเป็นพื้นที่ที่ให้คนมาเน็ตเวิร์กกันได้ด้วยเหมือนกันพวกเราเชื่อนะครับว่า2สิ่งนี้มันสามารถที่จะ coexist และเกิดขึ้นไปพร้อมกันได้นะครับเพราะว่าความสัมพันธ์ที่ดีที่สุดที่จะถูกสร้างเนี่ยมันเกิดจากการที่ต่างฝ่ายต่างเปิดใจนะครับเราก็ได้ express ตัวเองได้เป็นตัวของตัวเองมากที่สุดเราพยายามสร้างพื้นที่ที่จะ unlock จุดนั้นของผู้คนได้ครับก็เลยอยากจะเชิญชวนทุกคนมางาน Human Stories Thailand นะครับจ จะจัดวันที่1สิงหาคมปี2026นะครับรอบนี้จัดที่ Earth House Thonglor นะครับ So Human Stories Thailand for the first time will be hosted on the 1st of August 2026. You can find us on Instagram. This time it will be hosted in Earth House Thonglor.
Okay.
But for the other times that are going to happen, just follow us and then we'll tag you along for the journey as well.
Lovely. I love that. So if you've been following us along, I'm a big voucher for people telling their story and sharing their story. And so that's what we've been trying to do here. And it's great to see other people sharing similar initiatives as well. So Human Stories Thailand, feel free to check it out. There's a great story behind why he launched Human Stories Thailand as well. So stay tuned. And Angad, any closing remarks you'd like to add for anyone listening or anybody specific?
I would just like to say thank you for this opportunity. And also, don't be afraid to get out of your shell. Don't be afraid to basically break the society's construct. And when I say society, I do not just mean any society in specific, but just if you think of the word society, whatever comes to your mind, that is just like a construct that you have in your mind. It doesn't really exist. You yourself are just the society. So I would just like to say, just break free of that. Once you break free of the shackles in your head, there's endless possibilities because you are usually the only one that's limiting yourself towards whatever you would like to achieve. And I would just like to share love to everyone watching and just stay happy. Oh, and also see you in Human Stories Thailand.
Okay, thank you, Angad.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ สวัสดีครับ